All right, let's talk about dump trailers. This is my 16-foot, 16K Gooseneck dump trailer, towing it with the F450, of course. This is my second one of this. My first Gooseneck, my second dump trailer. I do have my third dump trailer as well. I sold my first one during COVID because I actually sold it for more than I paid for it. Little did I know that I was going to need another one, and then obviously COVID hit, and supplies sucked. So it is what it is. Let's go over everything there is about this dump trailer. Review on it. It's been years. Will I buy it again? Would I buy another one? Let's go. All right, so if you're in the remodeling construction industry, there's two camps. One, I absolutely need a dump trailer. Two, I'll just rent it out and have somebody else take care of debris. Now, obviously, I'm on the first part as far as that kind of group's concerned. I absolutely love having a dump trailer on a site because, number one, it's mine, so I can keep it on the job site as much as possible. I don't need to worry about, daily or weekly rates. And again, you can pass those on to the customers, but jobs go overboard. You got extra stuff. You can, there's things that happen, and it saves me so much headache. And the convenience factor of just having it, I can put it where I want to. Here I am at my house, and I can throw away whatever I want to, take it to a customer's house, leave it there, vice versa. It's fantastic. Again, yeah, I do have the overhead of a dump trailer. These are not cheap pieces of equipment. They are expensive, and obviously you need a truck to actually haul them. But if you're in the remodeling and construction industry, you probably already have a truck. If you don't and you have a van, it is what it is. You can just rent them from somebody like me or somebody else. I obviously prefer dump trailers, not just like the regular trailers where they have like the dig out. This is like a box and wheels. This actually dumps because, for one, revenue. So this is a income producing asset, and that's why you buy a dump trailer. It's an income producing asset. Number one way of obviously producing income is I rent these to my customers that I'm actually on the job site demoing stuff, construction, remodeling, whatever it is, at $500, $499 a load. And that's another revenue. That's another way for my business to make money. Number two is material delivery and acquisition. Like, I use this, there's big materials, 16, 18, 20 foot lengths of whatever. I can use this and go and pick up materials for a customer, and I actually charge for that. And it's another way for my business to make money. And if we're building a house, we're building something, obviously I'm having materials delivered, but if I needed something, one-offs, then yeah, I charge for that. It's no big deal. It's part of doing business, and my customers are more than happy to pay for it, because what are they going to do? They're going to rent something to go get it themselves. They're going to pay whoever to deliver it themselves. I mean, it's the same. I don't charge too much for it, but if I'm already going there, yeah, it's an extra way of my business to create revenue. Number three is obviously, like, say, fill, 21AA rocks or anything like that. First, I can deliver. I've done that before where, customers need 5, 6, 20 cubic yards of something. Absolutely. Go fill it, a couple, trailer loads, boom, done. I do charge additional. And again, it depends on the material you're hauling, how much weight. I've had this thing way overloaded. I won't say, I wasn't going too far, but I think I had 12 or 15 cubic yards of 21AA in this thing at one time. This is only like a 14 and a half, 15 cubic yard. That was all the way to the top. So I think it was heaped over. It was pretty, and it did not like it. It was the end of the day. I did not want to go back for another load. I just told him to double me up, and he did. And you could tell that, the 450, absolutely no problem with it. Yeah, you could tell there's weight behind on the truck, on the Gooseneck. Being that it's a Gooseneck, was helped out tremendously. But the fact is, it was way overloaded. I wasn't going too far. It wasn't in a main road or anything like that. And I was super safe. But yeah, it was, I forget, what is it? 200 pounds per cubic yard, and then times 15 plus the trailer weight. So yeah, truck handled it fine, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. And it did Y out the rear, and it dumped it fine. The telescopic hoist, which I'd absolutely recommend if you're doing a dump trailer, buying a dump trailer, make sure it's a telescopic hoist. Had no problem dumping that. Not up. Yeah, you could hear the motor, run. It was working, but it did not lag whatsoever. I did have a fully charged battery, of course, and it was working. And it dumped it, no problem whatsoever. I had to pull forward because it obviously, it was a lot of material. And you got to be careful, because if all that material is on the back end over here, it can actually lift up the front of the truck, or the back of the truck where it's connected to. I've had that happen one time when I was loading a skid steer. Not cool seeing your 450 kind of just roll forward. It's just not cool. Not cool at all. But pucker factor 1000. Dump trailers are fantastic, and again, that's number 3. Just, you know, your fill dirt, whatever it is, and getting stuff off the job site or on a job site and charging for it. So these things are fantastic for convenience, number 1, making money, number 2, or you can, you know, making money, number 1, and convenience, number 2, however you want to put it. Absolutely 150% recommend it. Now, gooseneck versus bumper pull. If you're doing a debris dumpster removal, you know, if you're just doing like a trash out kind of service, get a bumper pull. They are, and you're just unhooking and hooking up all day long, you know, multiple times a day or whatnot. A bumper pull is going to be more convenient, and of course it's easier to hook and unhook. If you're long hauling or heavy hauling anything, gooseneck, there's no way. When I bought this, I didn't really know how to tow and back up a gooseneck trailer. It took me a while back in here, and it took me, I don't know, like 15 or 20 tries, and my wife was yelling at me, or not really, she was laughing at me. It's like, how are you going to buy a trailer you don't know how to back up? And it did, you know, rightfully so. It was not easy to learn, but I did learn, and now it's fantastic. Now, again, you're going to hit some curbs and stuff like that. I had to replace that jack because for some reason it dropped down, and I was, you know, checking to make sure a curb was actually concrete and not just dirt, and it was definitely concrete, and it snapped it right off. But replaced it, no big deal. SureTrack, the dealership, didn't have the correct actually facing jack, so I had an inward bound jack on that one. But it works, no big deal. Spare tire is absolutely imperative on a dump trailer. I don't know why they make them optional for a dump trailer. They should come with a spare tire, because for some reason, like, you're gonna pick up nails, period. Like, for some reason, this back tire right here on both my dump trailers was low, flat. I got it repaired, got that one repaired as well. You need a spare tire, and I would highly recommend, since I have both my 16K trailers are the exact same as far as wheels. They're 17.5-inch rims. I can, if I needed to, I have 2 spares for one trailer, because I have a spare tire for both trailers. If one's on the job site, I can rob it, get that spare to this trailer if I need to, and vice versa. So at least I can have uniformity as far as my dump trailer fleet is concerned. Capacity, I would highly recommend you go as high a capacity as you can if you're buying a dump trailer. So this is a 16 foot, and then I put a couple boards up there. It gives me roughly around 15 cubic yards. So if you're advertising for dumping and trash outs, you can put 15 cubic yards of fill, dirt, or whatever is providing your load capacity. Smaller trailers, smaller capacity, you can charge a little less, but they're also easier maneuverable, and depending on your tow vehicle, again, I have a 450, so I'm not worried about my tow capacity. But if you have an F-150, like I used to have with my first dump trailer, it gets sketchy when it's full. It's really, really sketchy. I know they have high capacity trucks that are, 1500s out there as far as what they can tow, but these days, recommend a heavy duty Chevy Silverado, Ram, all those, get 2500 or 3500 at a minimum, just for safety. I love the 450 because bigger brakes, wider turn radius. There's plenty of things. I'll link my truck review and why I bought the F450 in the description of this video. Fantastic. And I was actually looking for a Ram, but once I got into the F450 and I used the turn radius on this thing, it was over, game over. It was awesome. I love the turn radius on this truck. And again, turn radius with the gooseneck is dangerous because I can literally pivot the back of this trailer, and these wheels don't move, they just slide. It drags it because of the turn radius. It's fantastic. I absolutely love the turn radius of this with the gooseneck. Yeah, a little bit harder to unhook and hook up, but when you're doing long hauls, it is absolutely amazing as far as how it tows. And yeah, the fuel economy suffers, but I don't care. I don't buy a dump trailer, 16, 20K dump trailer and an F450 to worry about fuel economy. That's just not what I'm about here. And again, the trailer is dirty. You're not gonna see any clean trailers or clean trucks on this channel because we work and it's what we do. All right, cons of a gooseneck over a bumper pull, they weigh more. So this actually weighs, I think, 800 pounds more than the exact same trailer bumper pull, 16 foot telescopic, because of the gooseneck. So you lose a little capacity. That's the trade-off on this, is you lose a little capacity. So if you want the most capacity for a trailer for the length, whatever it is, get the bumper pull, because they just weigh less. So if they weigh less, that means you can haul more. That's as simple as I can put it. No big deal. And absolutely put your running boards up. I think mine came with the one 12-inch, and I put the second one up there just to give myself a little extra capacity. Yeah, I'm like 6'1". I can reach up here, no problem. Throw stuff away. It is what it is. But if you're shorter than that, you might want to keep the last 12-inch board off of it or whatnot. And these, you can yank these up there. Screws. I think they're TRKs or GRKs in there. I can if I need to, I can throw them. No big deal. Also, putting the board up there, if you're loading with like say a skid steer or equipment and you hit, it doesn't damage the railing, it just damages the wood up there. And you can see I got a couple of spots up here and I yanked them off, but yeah, absolutely, it protects your investment. I would highly recommend you guys do that. All right, so finally, SureTrack is my brand of choice for this. And am I happy with this trailer? Yes. Am I over exaggerating? You know, is it great? No. SureTrack has their limitations. It's not, I'd say it's definitely lower quality than say a Diamond C, but it's definitely better than say Low Trail or pretty much anything besides, I'd say a Lamar and Diamond C are pretty much top of the line, and then everything else, the SureTrack's just one step below that, but they're still good quality. But you can see it's got some rust. The ramps underneath, I can't show you here, but they actually snap off. They have some pretty cheap welds on them, and all three of my trailers are like that. So it's not just like a one-off thing. I think it's just a manufacturer defect kind of thing. All three trailers, there are ramps underneath here. With the ramps in loaded up, the welds tend to break. It is what it is. I've had to pay for all three of them to get re-welded and actually reinforced, because I don't want my ramps falling off in the middle of a road or something like that, because they weigh probably 100 pounds a piece at least, and they'd definitely mess up a car behind me or something like that if they actually let go. So other than that, am I happy with my purchase with SureTrack? Yes, absolutely. You can do a lot worse than SureTrack, that's for sure. You pay for what you get with dump trailers. Yeah, this trailer probably costs, I think, $17,000, $18,000. And it's an investment. You pay for what you get with this kind of stuff. And if you see a dump trailer, the brand new, like for like 16 foot telescopic hoist, and it's only like 10 grand, you got to look at the pump, look at the welds. There's a reason why it costs so much less than say a mid-tier to higher tier dump trailer like a SureTrack or a Diamond C. Diamond C, they still have their problems as well, but I mean, they tend to have, they are more expensive. Like I think almost I'd say 40% more expensive than this trailer for the exact same thing, same capacity, but their welds might be a little better, it might have a little less rust. So, it's a give and take for sure. I would highly recommend, if you're doing a dump trailer, last thing, spec out like railing, like foot, like a step. I have a step right here, but I eventually will put this like a straight across all the way, and the exact same thing on those. It just helps out. That way you're stepping up, you can get up in here easily. So over here, I need it. So that's a modification. If you're building a trailer, if you find a trailer, that's one thing as a trailer owner that I wish this thing would have. Double broach fenders. Obviously you can walk on those. I do it all the time. Definitely, because you're gonna need to get up there, and you're always getting your tarp, snagged on nails and stuff like that. So, all right, this video has been going on long enough, but yeah, dump trailers, absolutely 150% well worth it. Bumper pull versus gooseneck, just depends. I have both. I like both. But if I was just doing trash out only, definitely bumper pull. But if I'm doing heavy hauling, long hauling, I would definitely do a gooseneck, because it tows so much. It's so nice, so sweet. I have no problems taking this thing across country because it just tows phenomenal. Like and subscribe, you guys. Will be on the next video.